Part H, if the capacity is reduced to 2,000 units, what is the break-even in units, and what is the break-even as a percent of capacity? So when a capacity reduced to 2,000 units, there will be no change in the break-even in units. The reason there are no change in the break-even in units is because in the formula for calculating break-even point in units, capacity is not in that formula. The formula that we use to calculate the break-even point in unit is total revenue equals total cost. And in the total revenue function and in the total cost function, in the total cost function is fixed cost plus variable cost per unit times quantity, and then total revenue is your selling price times quantity. In these two formulas, capacity is not in these two formulas. So therefore, changing the capacity will not affect your break-even point in units. However, when it comes to break-even as a percent of capacity, when we reduce the capacity to 2,000 units, the break-even as a percent of capacity will change as well. The reason is because break-even as a percent of capacity, the formula for that is break-even point per unit divided by capacity. Capacity was 2,500 before, now capacity is 2,000. So we're reducing the capacity from 2,500 to 2,000. So our denominator in the equation changes to 2,000. So as a result, our new break-even point as a percent of capacity is now 7.5% because our denominator changed from 2,500 to 2,000. In the second example, this is similar to question 2 of your pre-class assignment tutorial video. It's basically the same questions. So you can watch the pre-class assignment tutorial video, example 2, to calculate the contribution rate and the break-even in sales dollar. You can watch that on your own again. I will just go through the new material here. Part A, if Joe Manufacturing wants to make a profit of $400,000, what is the sales volume in dollar that is required to generate this amount of profit? So what we're asked to calculate here is how much sales that we need to generate in order for us to make a profit of $400,000. So the formula that you need to know here is required profit equals to contribution rate times sales volume in dollar minus fixed costs. And what we're solving for here is the sales volume in dollar. This is what we're solving for. And we're given that we want $400,000 in profit. So this is what we have. We put that as the required profit, $400,000. We substitute that into the equation. And what we also have is the fixed cost from the question. Fixed cost is $260,000. That is our fixed cost. So we substitute that into the equation. Contribution rate we calculated from the pre-class assignment video that you watch. We calculated a contribution rate. Contribution rate was 0.4, it was 40%. And we substitute that into the equation. Once we have these three numbers, then we can solve for the last number, which is your sales volume in dollars. So we can rearrange the algebra. We move the 260 over to the left side. So we have 400,000 minus the 260. That gives you the 140 on the left side, and that equals to 0.4 times the sales volume. And then we divide both sides by 0.4, and you're going to get sales volume in dollar will be 1.65 million. And that's part A for example 2.